My mother-in-law wore a wedding gown to my wedding. Honestly, my husband's mom, Diane, is exhausting. She is not an evil person, but she desperately needs to be the center of attention all the time. On my wedding day, I was waiting to walk down the aisle when I looked out of the window and saw Diane arriving. She was wearing a strapless white tulle gown with pearl details. It was literally a bridal gown. She was twirling around the courtyard, soaking up all the shocked looks from our guests. My husband saw her and immediately rolled his eyes. He was furious, but we were literally minutes away from saying our vows. I turned to my maid of honor, Jess, and told her to deal with it. I was not going to let Diane ruin my wedding. The ceremony went fine, and nobody really noticed her. Once the reception started, Diane planted herself right next to the open bar. She was taking selfies and acting like she was the bride. Jess saw her opportunity. She grabbed a giant glass of red wine from the bartender and walked right past Diane. Jess faked a stumble and pitched the entire glass of wine right at Diane's chest. It was a massive purple disaster. Diane screamed loudly enough to stop the music. Jess immediately dropped to the floor and started crying and apologizing profusely. She made such a big scene that everyone was looking at Jess instead of Diane. My husband walked over to see the commotion. Diane started demanding that Jess be thrown out of the venue. My husband just looked at his mom and told her she was dripping wine all over the dance floor and needed to go home and change. Diane was completely embarrassed. She ran to her car and drove home. She missed the first dance and the entire dinner service. When she finally walked back into the reception 2 hours later, she was wearing baggy blue jeans and an oversized gray sweatshirt. She sat at a table in the very back corner of the room and did not speak to anyone for the rest of the night. My husband and I just laughed about it and enjoyed the rest of our party. Do you think what Jess did was justified, though?